What's going on, everybody? I hope everybody's doing good today, tonight, whenever you're watching this. If it sounds like I'm speaking gibberish or talking slow or breathing heavy, I do apologize. The way the weather's been lately, it's just been messing with my sinuses, messing with me in all sorts of ways, which I don't know why. So one thing I don't like about spring is, especially here in Michigan, one minute it could be nice and hot out, and then the next thing it's freaking cold, and then it flip flops a bunch. So that always fucks with me. So if I sound like I'm speaking weird or breathing heavy or whatever, I apologize. And another thing I will apologize for is the amount of foul language I may be using in this video. So if you don't want to hear me rant or swear or anything like that, better click off the video. Otherwise, sit tight and watch. So, last week I came across a video on TikTok from Anthony Hudson. And if you don't know who Anthony Hudson is, go check him out. He's one of the presidential candidates out there. He's running as an independent. Go check him out. But he basically put a video out there talking about how Democrats in Washington State and possibly a few other states are making it to where if a parent refuses to take their kids in for gender affirming surgeries, that CPS or whoever will come and take their kids and have them taken to the surgeries, and the parents get no say as to whether or not the kids have that surgery or not to transition, which I think is completely fucked up. And for anybody out there that's going to try and say, oh, well, that's not actually happening, people like Anthony are just trying to say that just to fuel the heat or fuel this or fuel that for the 2024 presidential candidate election, blah, 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 blah. You know what? Miss me with that shit. I heard it all over TikTok ever since I watched that video. I heard it all over Facebook, YouTube. I even got a friend that lives in Washington, about an hour or so from Seattle, and he said that he heard about the same shit and that it's pissed him off and his family off that they're talking about moving away from that state now because of that. And honestly, if I was living in Washington or any other state that was trying to push that law into effect, I'd be pretty pissed off too. The state I live in, like I said, which is Michigan, yeah, we have some laws here that are stupid. And, honestly, if the same thing were to happen here in Michigan, honestly, that wouldn't surprise me because, look at our governor, Gretchen Whitmer, or Gretchen Half Whitmer, or Whitlis is what I like to call her. Man, I can't stand that fucking bitch. Fuck her. But anyways, this isn't about what's going on here in Michigan. This is about what's going on in Washington State and possibly a few other states as well. The fact that Democrats are trying to push this law into effect in those states is pretty fucked up. And I mean fucked up. Mind you, kids should not even be making that decision. A lot of kids that do want to make that decision, they end up growing out of it. 80% of kids that have thoughts of transitioning or, they want to be this or that, 80% of them grow out of it. But no. Democrats don't want to look at it that way. It's all about their agenda. They want to try and allow kids to make their own decisions without their parents' permission, which is why we got idiots out there like Jeffrey Marsh that want to go on saying things like, oh, well, if your parents don't want you to do this or do that, come to me and we'll do something. I'll help you become this person or that person, blah, 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 blah. You know what? Honestly, first off, that Jeffrey Marsh idiot that I keep seeing on TikTok, which I haven't really been seeing him as much lately ever since I put a video out about a month or so back calling his ass out because of how the fuck he acts online towards kids. You know, I haven't been hearing about him on TikTok lately, or YouTube for the matter, but his videos are still up, which is pretty sad. I don't know why YouTube or TikTok or any other media platform isn't doing anything about that dumbass, but whatever, it's beyond me. You know, they'll go after conservatives that voice their opinion talking about politics or talking about God and Jesus, but it won't do a damn thing about Democrats that are trying to brainwash children. This is pretty fucked up, man. And I mean fucked up. And to any parent out there that is actually allowing their kids to do that shit, you shouldn't even be a parent. Because what are you going to do when your kid grows up and, you know, they're at the age where they can actually make their own decisions, and then they decide, man, I wish I wouldn't have done this as a kid. You know, I shouldn't have done this. I don't know why my parents allowed me to do this shit. I don't know why, blah, 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 blah. Like, and that's a fucked up thing. You know, there are parents out there that are okay with this shit, which I don't fucking get. And then for parents out there that aren't okay with that shit, they can't even make the decision to say no if they live in those states like Washington State or a few other liberal states out there that are pushing this law into effect. And that's pretty fucked up. You know, parents out there are becoming more and more unable to make decisions for their kids, all because, you know, liberals out there want all these stupid ass laws in effect, which is pretty fucked up. You know, again, I hate to make these about Democrat versus Republican, liberal versus conservative, you know, this versus that, blah, 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 blah. Like, you know, and I get it. It's not just one side that's fucked up. You know, Republicans have their side of fucked up stories too. But my word, Democrats, on the other hand, like, what the fuck? You know, if you're a Democrat, whatever. But if you're a Democrat that's okay with that shit, for one, either you shouldn't even be having kids, or you deserve to be locked up. The fact that Democrats are going after children or parents that aren't allowing their children to make this decision is pretty fucked up. I'm sorry, but it should be a parent's decision as to whether or not their kid decides what they want to do in their life. Once the kid hits 18 or 21, whatever, fine, let them make their decisions. But any age under 18, no. I'm sorry, but kids need their parents. You know, it's pretty sad. And the fucked up thing about this is, you know, a lot of the people that are supporting this are the same people that got pissed off when Roe v. Wade got overturned, or when businesses out there didn't require people to wear masks or get vaccinated. Yet here they are trying to push this law into effect, which I think is completely fucked up. And on top of that, some of these states that are having these laws in effect, quite a few of these states are allowing drag queens to come in and talk to children, talk about how they can do this, they can do that, and then they go and talk about some inappropriate shit towards children. Talk about this, talk about that, and, do all these inappropriate dance moves in front of the kids. And, they go and they talk about how, oh, well, you could do this in your life. Oh, you can do that in your life. Oh, I want to go and talk to the children. Oh, I just want to teach children how to do. You know what? You're not fucking teaching them shit. Other than it's okay to be a dumbass, if that's what you're trying to get at. My word. And to those of you that are going to sit there and be like, oh, well, people that dress up as drag queens are such nice people. Oh, they just want to do this, do that, blah, 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 blah. Dude, the way I see it with drag queens, all they are to me is a bunch of men that clearly have nothing better to do in their lives, don't know how the fuck to think about certain things, that just dress up in women's clothing, wear wigs, wear makeup, and walk around, pretending they're something they're not. So honestly, I'm sorry to anybody that's going to be offended by me bringing up how drag queens are nothing but this and that, but it's the fucking truth. I mean, look, if you really want to, if you're a man out there that really wants to dress up as a woman, wear makeup, wear a wig, or grow your hair out and, do whatever. You know what? Fuck it. Whatever. It's your life. You do what the fuck you want. But the minute you want to sit there and try and reach out to children and pretend that you're teaching them something, no. That makes you, not only does that make you a fucking dumbass, but that makes you a child predator out there. Yeah, there I said it. A fucking child predator. Oh, but these drag queens aren't teaching children how to, but I don't give a fuck about what drag, or about what you think drag queens are doing around children. The matter is, a lot of them want to reach out to children. Like, what the fuck are they teaching children? Explain to me that. Like, my word. That's the fucked up thing, People that make certain decisions in their life think that it has to involve reaching out to children. Then you got these fucked up Democratic politicians out there, or Congress committees, that are like, oh, well, kids should have a right to decide what they want to do in their life. So what if they regret it? Oh, they think like this now, so they're going to think like that forever. Blah, 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 blah. Learn your fucking facts. I know for a fact that a lot of kids out there end up growing out of that shit. When I was little, yes, I had thoughts about wanting to be something else, be something other than a boy. And you know what? I grew out of that shit. By the time I hit age 8, I was like, you know what? That settles it. I'm a man, or I'm a boy, That's who I am, and that's what I'll always be. I'm sorry, people, but facts over feelings. I'm tired of this whole feelings over facts bullshit that people have going on in their lives. You know, it's already bad enough that we have all these fucked up things going on in this country. You know, all because parents can't decide what's good and what's not good for their kids anymore. Then you got liberals out there that are going after people like Ron DeSantis, all because he made it to where kids are no longer allowed to go to LGBTQ rallies. Rightfully so. I think, or well, I think it's, let me go back. My bad. I agree with Ron DeSantis on that decision. You know why? Because I don't think kids should be going to LGBTQ rallies. I'm sorry, but to everybody that's getting mad, let me tell you something. You know, I actually saw an LGBTQ rally before, and what I saw, I could not believe what the fuck I was seeing. You literally had men out there that were dressing up all goofy, you know, dressing up, you know, wearing this clothing that looks like their fucking ass cheeks are hanging out. And, you know, you could see their fucking pubic hair. And, oh my gosh. Just thinking about it just makes me want to fucking flip out. Not only that, but it makes me fucking sick, too. Like, you had a bunch of men out there that were dressed up inappropriately. And, you know, you had a bunch of men out there that were fucking each other and doing this, doing that. And there were fucking kids there. Like, what the fuck? You know, maybe not all LGBTQ rallies are like that. You know, it might have just been the one I saw, but literally, you know, there are other people out there that have seen the same shit. Like, you know, YouTubers out there like Jericho Green. He even witnessed the same thing. Except this was a different LGBTQ rally. The one I saw was in Kalamazoo, Michigan. The one he saw, actually, I don't remember which one he said he saw. But he said that some of his buddies out there saw the same thing. And that's completely fucked up. See, that's the thing. You know, people want to sit there and talk about how parents that teach their kids about God and how to be a Christian or a Catholic or whatever, you know, those parents get called hateful people. But then you got parents out there that are actually allowing their kids to do these gender affirming surgeries. And you got parents out there that are actually allowing their kids to go to LGBTQ rallies. So, you know what? Like I said, I agree with Ron DeSantis' decision to make it to where kids shouldn't even go to LGBTQ rallies. Like, my word. I'm sorry, but the last thing I want my kid to see is some other dude or woman dressed up inappropriately with his or her fucking ass cheeks hanging out, dressing like this, going around saying things like, hey, oh, love is love. Oh, 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 he has no home here. Yeah. Oh, we gotta teach people how to love. Like, my fucking word, man. I'm sorry, but if you're gonna dress like that, you're not teaching people how to love or how to do this or how to do that. You're teaching them that you are some fucked up idiot that's confused on what he is in his or her life, excuse me, that needs to be fucking either locked up or you need to get serious help. See, I couldn't imagine myself dressing up like that and then going around, walking around saying things like, hey, hate has no home here. Hey, love is love. Hey, conservatives are such hateful people. Hey, blah, 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 blah. And, like, my word, man. And look, I'm not slamming all LGBTQ members or all LGBTQ supporters out there. Because if you're an LGBTQ member or supporter and you are against kids seeing that shit, and if you're against these Democrats passing these fucked up laws in effect where parents can't decide what's good and what's not good for their kids, then I applaud you. You have my respect. But if you're not against that shit, then you're a part of it. And honestly, all I gotta say is fuck you. But that's really all I gotta say. I'm sure I pissed a lot of people off for making this video. And you know what? I don't give a fuck. You guys have something you want to say to me? I'd like to hear you say something. And feel free to write whatever you want to write. You know what? I get hate comments all the time. So you know what? Bring them in. I'm ready for them. You think I'm some redneck piece of shit that doesn't understand what he's talking about? You know what? Say that then. I don't give a fuck. I'm used to the criticism. But if you do agree with what I'm saying, feel free to give this video a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe, comment, and say what you want to say. That's all I gotta say. Y'all take care now.